It is now 47 after all. This week we are going to be looking at the phenomenon known as Star Trek, the TV series, the movies, the cast, and of course the razzle-dazzle special effects. In a few moments, an interview with Mr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy, but first an overview from Mr. Siegel, Joel that is.
Good morning, Joe. It was on the air for just 3 seasons, just 79 episodes. It's been off the air for 20 years, but no TV series before or since has had the devoted, relentless, fanatical fans Star Trek has. They are called Trekkies. I am not one of them, which allows me to view the phenomenon with some objectivity.
Space, the final frontier.
Myth. Star Trek was a hit TV show taken off the air before its time by Klingon TV executives. Truth. Star Trek was never a hit TV show. In 3 seasons on NBC, it never cracked the top 25. In 1966, it was on Thursday nights opposite My Three Sons on CBS and Bewitched here on ABC, the number 8 rated show. The next season, it moved to Fridays. It was opposite Gomer Pyle, the nation's number 3 rated show. True fans are called Trekkies. They meet in conventions, publish learned texts, lists of casts, plots, and idiosyncrasies. A fan knows Mr. Spock never smiles. A Trekkie knows exactly when and where he did. A Trekkie knows what a tribble is, a furry creature, a living smoke alarm who knows when an evil Klingon is about. But only a Trekkie knows how many there are.
Hundreds of thousands. 1,771,561.
You say, bang, zoom!
That's the Ralph Cramden approach to Warp Drive, and The Honeymooners are the only other TV series that spawned a similar group of super loyal fans. They hold conventions, they've unearthed lost episodes, they've kept their hallowed traditions alive, and their show on the air, like their brother Trekkies. But Star Trek is the only TV series in history that's moved lock, stock, and force field to the movies, where the 3 Star Trek features have grossed $240 million. And more proof of Star Trek's unique place in America's imagination. NASA named this test shuttle the Enterprise.
My friends, I can't ask you to go any further. Dr. McCoy and I have to do this. The rest of you do not.
Admiral, we're losing precious time.
Work course, please, Admiral.
Mr. Scott?
I'd be grateful, Admiral, if you'd give the word.
Gentlemen, may the wind be at our backs. Stations, please.
And the wind has blown fair for Captain Kirk. Star Trek IV opens the day before Thanksgiving. There will be lines, 1 million hardcore Trekkies camping out all night to be the first to see it. All this week we'll be meeting and talking with the Star Trek crew. Tomorrow morning, Joan will be beamed from our studio on board the Starship Enterprise, which is somewhere in the far reaches of the universe, a strange, exotic, dangerous place called Hollywood. It's 10 minutes before the hour, and Joan will be back with Leonard Nimoy, or Mr. Spock, if you will, after this from Magnavox.
Well, the crew of the Starship Enterprise is blasting off again, traveling to where no man has gone before. And that means there's another Star Trek movie. It is called Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. Leonard Nimoy is back as Mr. Spock, and he's back as our guest. It's nice to have you here. I've had more fun looking not only at this movie, but behind the scenes of the movie. For all the Trekkies out there who are hanging on your every word, how much can you tell us about what the movie is about?
Well, in the 23rd century, which is the time of Star Trek, Earth is in terrible trouble. We, the crew of the Enterprise, have to go back 300 years in time to now to pick up something here on Earth that no longer exists in the 23rd century and carry it into the 23rd century to save the planet.
And if anyone wants to stop and think about that for a minute, there's a lot of humorous implications there, and you really do use those, and that's really something kind of fresh and new also.
Yeah, we've done some pretty serious and heavy drama in the last 3 films, lots of life and death and Sturm und Drang and operatic emotions and stuff like that, and we decided it was time to lighten up.
All right, we have a scene from the movie. I want to show them right now. Spock and Kirk are in San Francisco, and that's definitely another world to them.
I believe I shall begin by making use of this map. I have the distance and bearing which were provided by Commander Uhura. juxtapose our coordinates, we should be able to find our destination, which lies at 283.7 degrees.
I think we'll find what we're looking for at the Station Institute in Sausalito. A pair of humpbacked whales named George and Gracie.
How do you know this?
Simple logic.
What does it mean, exact change?
Let's do a little bit of folklore, okay? Star Trek folklore, because a lot of people had a lot of questions they wanted me to ask you. Let's start with the handshake. Am I doing it right?
The handshake?
You do it. The Vulcan.
You mean this?
I mean the hand side.
That. If you
Okay.
can't do it, you're in a lot of trouble. The first time we introduced that into one of the episodes, it was an episode called Amok Time, where we had to go back to Spock's home planet of Vulcan because Spock was engaged to be married. The lady that I was doing the scene with, she had to do it, and she had trouble. She struggled with it, and we got her hand into the position off camera, just like I'm doing right now, and hit it, and got it ready, so that when it came time to do it, she had it ready, and she just popped it. It comes from an Orthodox Jewish ceremonial gesture. This is the shape. This is actually the shape of the letter Shin in the Hebrew alphabet. And that letter is the first letter in the word Shaddai, which means the Almighty. So the suggestion is they're using a symbol of the Almighty's name when they bless the congregation.
How strange has it been for you to really be able to see yourself there in living color on screen as you grow older over the years? Because none of the rest of us have
Well, it's
that
quite
happen to us.
extraordinary.
Yeah.
It's quite extraordinary, really. And in a way, I feel a great sense of accomplishment. You know, to still be around and still be acceptable doing it for so long, and for people who want to still continue to see it for so long. I think in this picture in Star Trek IV, the work that I did as Spock is the most relaxed I've ever done, and certainly. The interaction between myself and the other characters is the most comfortable I've ever been, and I think it is because of the passage of time. There are some things that happened between us, particularly between Bill Shatner and myself in this movie, that could only happen after working together for 20 years.
I have a hunch that we'd all be a lot happier discussing this over dinner.
You guys like Italian?
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
No. Yes.
No.
Yes. I love Italian. And so do you.
Yes. I never dreamed that I would have this kind of longevity in this thing. When we made the series in 66, 67, 68, we were a moderate success, never really a hot show. It wasn't until the syndication, 72, 3, 4, that the show really started to take off and became, and still is, the #1 syndicated show in television history. It's quite an accomplishment. I feel very proud of being part of that.
Well, it's such a wonderful series, and it has such it's really got great values and the morals that people learn from, and it's really enjoyable seeing it once again, even 20 years later. Nice to see you.
Thank you, and nice to see you.
We'll be back in just a moment.
And tomorrow, a tour of Star Trek's USS Enterprise. Later in the morning, this morning, Billie Jean King.